don't like where your life is right now and you're feeling stuck, sad, sore, depressed, anxious, if your relationships are falling apart, if you're just not where you want to be spiritually, or if you realize that you've reached the middle-aged point of your life and you're just not where you want to be, or maybe you feel like you've wasted the first half of your life or just messed up over and over and you're sick and tired of it, then pay attention, because your life is just beginning. You've only just begun. Things can get so good from here on out with only a few small changes. It's really easy. Let's dive into a little bit of faith versus fear. Why are you not where you want to be in your life? What has held you back? Maybe you just partied your face off for like a decade or two and taught that you have to struggle, strife, and work your ass off to get everything that you want. We're all taught that nothing comes easy, money doesn't grow on trees, you know, all this kind of stuff. But that's kind of bullshit, because you know, money does grow on trees. It's paper. Paper grows on trees. And the other thing is that food grows on trees. Food is very valuable. It grows all over the place on all kinds of bushes and trees and you name it, everywhere. So this idea that life has to be hard is complete nonsense. It's easy to get taken by the ideas that there's scarcity in the world, and it's easy to get taken by the ideas that you have to struggle and strife and, you know, lie, cheat, steal to get what you need. A lot of people are taught that. Other people are taught that you just have to work your butt off day in and day out to get what you want. And other people are taught that you just never get what you want. You just get whatever you get. You know, that fate is what it is and your life is what it is and you're not really in control of anything. That's also not true. So, faith versus fear. Faith. What is faith? So, faith is knowing that everything you need and everything good is there for you. And that's kind of, that's kind of a good way of saying it. Faith is knowing that you are all powerful. Faith is knowing that everything you need and want is always right there for you, no matter what. No matter how bad things may seem, faith is knowing that everything works out in the end. That you are always loved, you are always taken care of, and you will always have everything that you need. That is faith. Fear, on the other hand, is where a lot of people operate from. And it's not your fault. If you are operating from a place of fear right now, it's because of the news, the radio, the newspaper, your neighbors, your parents, your teachers, your friends. Everybody that is just so fear-mongering. Everybody's, you know, fear porn, I think some people call it, where you're just like, everybody's just like, oh no, oh this, oh that, you know, there's going to be another pandemic, epidemic, there's going to be a war, there is a war, there's always something, food prices are going up, there's going to be a food shortage, you know, there's always something, we're going to run out of water, the ozone layer, global warming, there's always something to scare everybody into doing things. This is baloney. Fear, like, I don't even like to use fear in the sense of, like, some people are, like the other day, my husband's like, fear is natural. You know, it stops people from doing things that are bad, you know, like walking up to a bear and bopping it on the nose, you know. But I'm like, yeah, is that fear or is that just, you know, learned intelligence? Is that just learned behavior? You know, we learn don't do that because, you know, bad things will happen. But fear, I feel like fear is so much deeper than just, you know, not wanting to put your hand in fire. You know, you don't need to fear the fire. You can respect the fire. You can respect the bear. You know, some people fear the ocean, like open ocean. That gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know, dark water that you can't see anything around. You could say that's a bit of fear. But I respect the ocean. It's not my main place to live. It's other creatures' place to live. So you could say that's a little bit of fear, because in a way I don't have faith that I'm going to be totally okay in the middle of the deep dark ocean. So yeah, that's a natural fear. But of course, a lot of people spend most of their life in the ocean, diving, free diving, swimming with sharks, doing all these things. They got faith. They don't have any fear of that. So some things are learned, some things are taught, but I think we've all been taught way too much fear. And we're so ingrained to be on this fear train that we've completely lost faith. I know I did for a while. Being raised Roman Catholic Church style when I was a kid, there was so much I didn't agree with. There was so much that resonated. Again, I'm repeating myself from another video. There's so much that resonated, but then there's so much that didn't. And that caused me to lose my faith for quite so many years. And even though I was always a very spiritual kid, you know, there was times I would, you know, ask God for answers to my questions, and I got the answers. Clear as day, I got the answers in my mind. They would just pop in. And that wasn't unusual for me, to just ask and have things answered. So it was having that faith, but it was societal structures that caused me to lose faith in the world. The societal expectations of what was going to be, you know, work and why we worked. I wanted to do things for me because I resonated with them, like art and music and helping people, like all these things. But then we get taken down by comments people make, like, you know, if you're going to be an artist, you'll be a starving artist. And I'm like, so I won't make enough money being an artist, or artists don't make any money, therefore using my talent and growing my talent is useless and pointless. That's the mentality I got into, and it kind of broke my spirit away. I let it pull me away from my talents. I stopped utilizing my talents. I lost faith that I could use my talents to earn a living and live a life. And I started to think, well, is that all that we're supposed to be doing? You know, go to school, graduate, get a job, make money, pay taxes, buy a house, pay taxes on that, pay off the house, keep paying taxes on the house, die, pay taxes. You know, is that all that there is? Is you just live, work, and pay, live, work, and pay, live, work, and pay? Because that seems to be the soul-sucking routine that has been killing a lot of you. Have you ever had your dreams crushed, and then, you know, or maybe you want to follow your dreams, but you're living in fear that it won't work out, or you're living in fear that you're going to be made fun of? Because again, school, we get made fun of, we get graded, we get judged. Everybody gives you their opinion. It's really hard to escape. We live in a society that is fear-based, not faith-based. I'm seeing a big change and a big shift in a lot of people, which is so wonderful and encouraging. I can feel it, that we're starting to get back to a faith-based culture. Have you noticed in history that there's been a lot of wars that have just come in and accidentally blown up a bunch of old churches? And even here where I live, like, there was a church and the land was sold, it was knocked down, and there's like some shops there now, or condominiums and apartment buildings now. It's like, okay, where's the faith? I don't say that we need to have churches and we need to have organized religion. No. You don't need to have that to have faith. I'm just saying, like, isn't it convenient how a lot of wars just take out these places of gathering for, you know, higher thinking and healing? Because a lot of those really old cathedrals were built as like energy resonating healing buildings. They weren't just some, like, you know, basic building where everybody comes together and prays together. That's all lovely and stuff. But these amazing cathedrals where the floors, the walls, the stained glass, the way the sound resonates off these amazing ceilings, the pipe organs, the balconies where people would sing. It's just like all of it together has this incredible resonance that just reverberates through you and just like restructures your whole body for healing. That's amazing. I want to see more of that around, but it's like they're not building those amazing cathedrals like that anymore. They're just destroying them. That's unfortunate. So the next best thing you can do is start to build that faith within you. Start to restructure yourself through faith and through love. And that means that you're gonna have to let go of the fear. You're gonna have to let it go. There's no water shortages. Only make-believe created water shortages. There's no food shortages. Food grows on trees. One tiny seed, you cannot count the pieces of fruit in one tiny seed, because every seed makes a tree, and every tree makes hundreds of pieces of fruit, and inside every piece of fruit is 100 more seeds, or at least one more seed, and in one of those seeds is another plant. It goes on and on and on and on and on. There is no scarcity, only abundance. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the people all around us, the land. We're made to believe that there's not enough land, that there's not enough food. That's baloney. These are all constructed things to make you live in fear. Turn off the news. Don't read the newspaper. Just go back to the land. If you want to grow your own food, grow your own food. But always believe. Have faith that you will always have what you need. Faith goes a long way. And it's actually more profound than just like, oh, I just have faith and everything's going to be okay. It's like, no, real faith deep down, beyond the fear. Because, okay, so I worked with a woman who kept saying she had faith. She's got faith in everything. She's got faith in God. But she saw herself as so separate from God that she was always praying to God to help her. And she was, asking and begging and pleading. But that's not how it's supposed to be. You are God in yourself. God is in you. You are in God. Oneness. Just like we talked about on the video. If you haven't watched the video on oneness, do it. When you have faith in spirit, you have faith in yourself. You have faith in the whole existence of humanity. You don't have to pray to God and beg for things. You are not a beggar. You are a creator. To have faith in God is to have faith in yourself. You do not have to live in fear of not having what you need. All of your needs will be met. When you A, know what you want, B, are not afraid to give it. You're not going to get love if you're not willing to give love. You're not going to get food if you're not willing to share your food. You're not going to get money if you're afraid to spend or give any money. There's a natural flow that happens in the world. And that is the flow of energy, because you and we're energy. Right now, we're connected. I'm way over here and you're way over there, but we're not separate. We're connected. You can't have faith and fear at the same time. When it comes down to it, you have to realize that having faith means letting go of fear. You cannot live in faith while you're still living in fear. And you feel good when you're in faith, and you feel terrible when you live in fear. Fear is anxiety. Fear is depression. Fear is all of these things, because think about it, depression, you're living in a place where something bad has happened over and over and over. That thing is living in your body. It's like trauma that's trapped inside of you. It hasn't been processed out. You haven't let it go. It's anger. Most of the time, I find that a lot of depression comes from a lot of anger. Angry with yourself, angry with somebody else, expectations not fulfilled, and disconnection from faith as well. It feels horrible. It's empty. It's dark. It's looming. It feels horrible. I can't tell you how much time I spent depressed. It's not a good feeling. And you don't have to stay there. But again, finding your true purpose, what you really want, and then having the faith that you can go after it and you will succeed. All right, to sum things up, living in faith means letting go of fear. All things that are being fear-mongered at you are nothing but illusion. They are falsehoods. They are set before you to make you drift through life living in fear, being dependent on other people for things. You are a conscious creator. You are pure consciousness. You are God. You are the all. You are a part of the greater existence of all energy. Have faith in yourself.